It's the Bulls Podcast, episode 11.
Hey, Chicago Bulls fans! It's time for your Bulls Podcast. And here are your hosts, Marcus Couch and Wyse Black.
Welcome to the Bulls Podcast, coming to you from bullspodcast.com. This is where we'll be bringing you the latest news, reviews, rants, rumors, and opinions on the players, coaches, and front office of the Chicago Bulls. My name's Marcus Couch, and with me is my co-host, Mr. Wyse Black.
Yo. What's up? What's good with all my Bull lifers out there, man? So the first preseason game was just last night. It was just yesterday. We got a whole lot to talk about just as far as everything that went down. And man, I can't wait to do it. We have a lot in store for you in this episode. So let's get to it.
And we do want to welcome this week's special guest, Diana Harris. She's the host of Dem Bulls, which is a great YouTube channel that I've been watching for a long time. She covers a lot of the action that's been going on in the off season leading up to training camp and now the first game. Really huge supporter of the Bulls, and we wanted to feature her here on this episode to expose her to our audience, bring some attention to our YouTube channel, which you've got to be subscribed to. Welcome to the show, Diana Harris.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm a huge fan of the podcast, so it means a lot that you guys invited me to come on and talk about Bulls content. So I'm excited to be here.
And we've got a lot in store for you this episode, including a couple of injuries that happened here in preseason. Lauri Markannen and Denzel Valentine. We'll cover that. We've got a recap of the Bulls' first preseason game against the New Orleans Pelicans. And we've got some player evaluations to talk about, how each player did in game one. And we've got some listener reactions from you, the Bulls fans, from our Bulls fan hotline. And we'll get to all that right after this.
Bulls fans, remember to follow the show on social media at Bulls Podcast and at bullspodcast.com.
Okay, unfortunately, just as sometimes it happens, we do have some early season injuries that have hit the Bulls. First up, Lauri Markannen. He was fighting for a rebound. I think he fell on his elbow. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks with an elbow strain. It's not exactly the start we were all hoping for, but it actually could be a blessing in disguise because it's going to give our rookies a chance to get some experience in preseason, where it's sort of an extension of what they're already going through in training camp. So, Wyse, what do you think this means to us as the Bulls to have him out for the first 2 months?
Obviously, I don't like it. Just because I think it's going to really disrupt what Hoiberg had planned offensively, at least. I'm pretty sure he was going to be at least the first or second option on offense. So Hoiberg has to kind of change his game plan now. Although I do think that we are going to get, like you said, I do think that we're going to get the chance to see some of the other rookies step up, such as Wendell Carter Jr. I think that we'll see a lot more of him now that Lauri Markannen is out. But I definitely think that this hurts the team's identity just for now. Now, I know it's not too long. It's only, 6 to 8 weeks, which actually is kind of long if you ask me. That's a little bit too long. But hopefully we can see some really good things out of Wendell Carter Jr. And hopefully also I hope that Lauri Markannen, I hope that his development isn't hindered by this injury as well. I think if he comes back and he's minutes restricted and all of that, I hope that we don't see something like what we saw from Zach LaVine. But at least it's not a season-ending injury. So I don't know. I definitely think that this will set us back just a little bit, but we should see.
And Diana, you scared me with one of your titles of one of the videos you put out. You said Lauri Markkanen's injured. Are we out of the playoffs? I thought, whoa, that's a little reactionary. So what was your take on it?
Yeah, I was definitely disappointed when I heard about the injury from Lauri. And I did that title because I was reading reactions from other Bulls fans on Twitter. And a lot of Bulls fans have become negative when it comes to injuries or just the players or when it comes to playoffs. But I do not think that Lauri getting injured is really going to hurt this team because I think that a lot of players are going to get minutes. And I do think a lot of fans are being dramatic. Like, it's an elbow injury. It's not an ACL injury. It's anything that he's going to be out for the season. So, I mean, it's definitely going to hurt us. But I do think, like you said, it's going to be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, if he broke his wrist or his ankle or something like that, then I'd be worried. But that's just the elbow. He's just going to have to adjust his shooting mechanics probably if he's going to be a little sore. But I don't think it's going to be that.
And that's what's scary to me though too, because was it his shooting arm?
It was right. It was his right arm.
Yeah, that actually is his shooting arm. So with him having to adjust that shot, I'm hoping that doesn't mess with his 3-point percentage. And I think he hyperextended it, right?
Yeah,
I think I think he fell on it or something happened, but yeah, they didn't get really into it. But it's bad enough that he's got to wear this kind of isolation brace, which looks weird. But
they were really going hard at practice apparently, since him and Denzel and Valentine are injured. So
right,
it seems like it. So, yeah, let's get into Denzel Valentine. He's out. He sprained his ankle on the first day, and they said he should be back to practicing with the team in a few weeks. And Antonio Blakeney jumped into his spot for the time being, and he looked pretty good doing that. So it is kind of a bummer with the injuries that are happening so early, but it's not the kind of injury that's going to sideline anybody for a long time. And I think that these are kind of injuries that they can come back from. Even Denzel with his ankle, even if he's a little tender on that ankle, I mean, I've played with a sprained ankle with a lot of tape, I mean, you can still do it. It's just I've never played NBA level where I'm doing cuts and quick stops and things like that. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens with Denzel, but there's plenty of backups that we've got in the meantime. So I'm not so worried.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And I think Denzel Valentine probably should be, because the way that Antonio Blakeney looked last night, man, like he could end up taking this spot, man. But you know what? It's way too early in the season, so I don't want to get too much ahead of myself. But Antonio Blakeney definitely took advantage of that opportunity last night.
Oh, yeah. So we'll get into the player stuff later, but we're going to take a quick break and talk about a recap of Game 1, which is the Bulls versus the New Orleans Pelicans, right after this. All right, Bulls fans, remember, we are a new show and we do need your support in social media. We made it really easy to find us with some special redirect links. If you want to find us, go to bullspodcast.com/social, or you can go to bullspodcast.com/Twitter, bullspodcast.com/Facebook for our Facebook group. You can find our YouTube channel, bullspodcast.com/YouTube, or Instagram is bullspodcast.com/Instagram. Help us out and spread the word about the show. Okay, let's talk about the game. Wyse, I don't know about you, man, but it seemed like it was 5 years between the last game and this game. It just seemed, because we've been doing the show and all that and trying to milk content and the off season and everything, it just seemed like it was forever since we saw the Bulls. And
yeah,
I'll tell you, it was nice. Even before we even start talking about the game, it was nice to see the UC again. It was nice to see the Lovables and some of the people that the Instagram for the Bulls podcast. We've been making friends with a lot of the Lovables and wishing them happy birthday over the summer and all that. And it's been nice to interact with everybody and see now everybody's at the game and having fun. And Courtney Hall's there, our buddy, and she's having a good time being the host with Roman and everything else. Benny the Bull was up to his usual crazy stuff. So it's nice to see that back in action again. So let's get into the game. Here's the stat that freaked me out. First off, they did win 128-116. The thing that jumped off the page at me, 99 field goal attempts. That's like right in line. Fred said he wanted to put up 100 attempts per game, and they got really close to that. So if this is pace and space basketball, I love it. It's pretty awesome to watch, to see these long passes that you hardly ever saw back in the Jimmy Butler days or the Derrick Rose days. I mean, you just didn't see it. It wasn't there. They would grind it down to the post and try and put it in that way. But I love the way that they did that. As a whole, the defense looked really good. They did great trapping, good defensive rotation. Even Stacey King on the broadcast highlighted the rookies knew exactly where they needed to be. They locked in, they rotated, they shifted over, they did double teams, a lot of trapping. I mean, it looked like we were definitely a better defensive team. So anybody that had those sort of worries that we were going to suck on defense, I think those worries are gone. We looked a lot faster. I haven't seen a Bulls team this fast all around in a long time. There were instances when New Orleans would drive to the basket and it looked like they had a clear path to the hoop.
Yeah.
But then 4 of our guys would come in and block the lane. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, man.
The shooting was great. The jump shot selection was really nice. They attacked the basket. It was just amazing to see this kind of work. I could tell that extra month of the guys playing together really paid off. There was even a point in the game where we had, I think, 2 or 3 3-pointers in the game, but we were still leading big. And I thought that was pretty great. The one thing that we didn't get to see that I've been hyping up was the Portis-Mirotic matchup. And, Nico didn't play, but we're going to get our chance to see that during the season. So, Diana, let's start with you. What did you think of the whole first game matchup?
I was really excited for this game. It's been a long time since I've been excited, just for a Bulls game, period. And this starting, lineup that we have was very interesting. But overall, this game was really good. Just looking forward to seeing Zach back healthy and him and Chris Dunn vibing off each other. Same thing with Jabari and Justin Holiday. I mean, the game was really good. I think we did see where Lauri was missing from the 3-point, percentage. The same thing with Denzel. But yeah, this game, it was really good, and it's a glimpse into the future, a hopeful future to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, much like you guys, it was just a very enjoyable game. I really liked what I saw out there. I actually thought that the Fred Hoiberg system was in full effect last night. As you said about the 99 shots put up, man, that is crazy space. It's pace and space, baby. And that's exactly what I wanted to see from them. So that was checked off right there. I also thought that they rebounded very well as a team as well, beating out the Pelicans. The Bulls had about 45 rebounds, I believe, to the Pelicans 36-37. The help defense was very respectable. You know what I mean? I saw a lot of players rotating when they should have. Zach LaVine actually played really, really well on ball defense. And I was even watching him off the ball some as well. Like, you can tell he worked on that aspect of his game this offseason. And I even liked what I saw from Bobby Portis. That weight looks really, really good on him, man. Like, on both ends of the floor, that weight is looking super nice on him. What more can you say about these guys? Like, as a team, I thought that they just really played very, very well out there. And Antonio Blakeney, the next man up guy, putting up 21 points, man. It was just beautiful. But you know what? During that game, didn't you hear Stacey King say something like he liked that Antonio Blakeney is a great scorer, but he felt that the Bulls have enough scoring options or something like that, and he should really focus on the defensive end more?
Yeah, I heard him say that. I didn't agree with him. I don't know, man. I'll take mass scoring like that in 20 and above off the bench from anybody over somebody that's going to play mediocre defense.
No, definitely. I just think that personally or individually for Antonio Blakeney, if he really wants to make a name for himself in this league or at least get a very permanent role on this Bulls team, if he can step up the defense on the defensive end, man, I think sky's the limit for him, man, because he's obviously a very great scoring punch.
Yeah, so I did what I've never done, which is I watched this game actually 3 times. And the first, so 4 times actually. I'm mistaken. So I watched it just as a regular fan. Okay, I watched it just as a regular fan. Then it's not that bad when you watch it and you can just skip through the timeouts and all the other stuff, right? So you can just click, go right through. So it wasn't so bad. So the first time I watched it just as a fan. The second time I watched it, and I only watched the guards. I would watch what they were doing off ball. I was watching what they were doing defensively. Then I did the same for the wings, and then I did the same for the center spot. So, strangely enough, I have the feeling that I'll be doing this for every game during the season. It's sort of this wild transition that I'm doing from just a regular fan to now a Bulls podcaster. But it's interesting to look at it from those perspectives and just kind of like I was watching game film, right? Yeah. Watching the guards do everything. And the guys really surprised me with the way that they were switching. I didn't see a lot of killer screens or anything, but I did see a lot of switches from a defensive perspective. So Fred in the season, when he was asked that question about the defense, he said, well, we'll find ways to accommodate for some of the shortfalls of the other guys with switching and things like that. And I think they're doing that. I really do. I think that they're going to be a lot better defensive team than people let on. So with that said, we are going to take a slight break and get some listener reactions to the game right after this. Okay, it's time for listener reactions. And this show is all about you, the Bulls fans. And for the last couple weeks, we've been telling you we got a new phone number that we want actually for you to put into your phone contacts list right now. And that's 312-626-5401. We're not the only ones that are going to be covering these games because we want you, the Bulls fan, because you're just as much a part of this podcast as we are. So let's feature a few of the voicemails that we got from fans talking about the game.
Well, this is Ash from Australia. Got a few takeaways. Bobby P looks amazing. I love the intangibles he brings in, his hustle, his energy. Love how he flexes, his confidence, his growth. So I love what I saw from him. Felicio picks and rolls, and that's about it. I don't really know what else to say about him. Jabari wasn't shy at all. He was 3 for 10 at one point, but I like how he kept with his game, and I like seeing that. The crossover was dope, and it's good to see that he's confident in his own game. So I like what I saw. Hell yeah to the podcast.
All right, that was Ash from Australia.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
He loves it. And then next up, we got Miss Pearl from Arkansas. So let's hear from her.
Yes, my name is Miss Pearl. I'm calling from Arkansas. And the first game, the Bulls pulled it out. They fought back because they were down, but they kept coming back. And I think that was good. Bobby Portis stepped up, and they did a good job. Thank you. We're going to win the second game, too. Bye.
Miss Pearl.
Dope.
Checking in with her favorite Razorback, Bobby Portis. Obviously, they're watching. So
Yeah.
I don't see Chi-Town checking in on her voicemail, and they better be. But that shows you exactly how the Bulls are a global brand. You got people from Australia and Arkansas that are chiming in on the podcast here. So that's a testament to how well liked our Chicago Bulls are. And, you know, the NBA is a global game, and it's just great to hear from everybody. So remember, you could be featured on the next podcast, just like Ash and Miss Pearl. So just add the fan hotline to your phone contacts right now, 312-626-5401. And anytime the Bulls play, or even if you're in the car, you have an opinion about the Bulls, just give us a call, share your feelings, and we'll put it on the show.
Yeah, no, for sure. I really liked the points that Ash made just in terms of what Bobby Portis did out there. We all was rooting for him, and Bobby Portis, he showed up and he showed out, man. He definitely did his thing. The same for Bobby Portis as well. But I also heard Ash mention Felicio. Man, I don't know what to say about him. I think his new name is the Tank Commander, man. We got to take that away from Campaign and give it to Felicio, because I felt like he was out there and he had enough time to do his thing. But what can you say about him? But anyway, Miss Pearl, I thank you as well. Thank you for your take. We appreciate y'all for just chiming in and not being afraid to phone us, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I was going crazy with trying to tell people to call in. And all I kept getting was likes. I must have got 100 likes in Facebook groups and all the rest of it. It's like, I don't want likes. I want you to pick up the phone and call us. Let us know what you think.
I know a lot of y'all out there got opinions. Don't be afraid. Pick up the phone, man.
Yeah. I'm not going to answer it. So you're not going to get caught with me going, hello, or nothing like that. It's just going to be, you know, I got a voicemail that's totally for the show. So check that out. And by the way, another reason why I want you to save that contact number is because Wyse and I, on selected game nights, we're actually going to be doing post-game call-in shows with everybody and doing it live and taking calls. So I think y'all are going to love that. So check it out, 312-626-5401. We'll be back right after this. I've got something new that I've talked about the last couple weeks. It's bulls.fm. It's a website that I put together. It's a great network of all of the different independent Chicago Bulls podcasts that are out there. So just go to bulls.fm in your browser. We're going to have a live streaming audio channel pretty soon. But in the meantime, here's who I've got as far as a lineup. We've got us, the Bulls podcast. We got Bulls Gold with Edward Schuler, who you heard last week. We got Bulls HQ, Chicago Bullseye with C. Red Fred, Ball on Bulls with Big Dave and Chris, who we've had on the show, the Bulls Beat with Doug Thonis, and the Big Red Bus, which is with Doug and Fred at the same time. So all the shows get automatically updated every hour, so it checks everybody's feed every single hour, so you're guaranteed that the site is always going to be 100% current with everybody's podcast. So you can enjoy the best Bulls podcasts wherever you happen to be at any time. So check it out at bulls.fm. All right, let's dive into the game. I can't wait to do this. This is pretty great. So let's talk about individual efforts here. First off, the rookies. And we'll start with Wendell Carter Jr. with his NBA debut. I'll tell you what, Anthony Davis dunked one right in his face. I think Jahlil Okafor did too. So he got a nice welcome to the NBA. Stepped it up after that. So I felt kind of like he was getting targeted when he first came into the game. But I'll tell you what, by game 5, he's going to have a great presence in this game. So Wendell Carter got 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. I thought that was really respectable for being your NBA debut off the bench. And Fred Hoiberg commented on Wendell after the game. He said, Wendell is not going to back down from anybody. That's what we love about him. He's a 19-year-old kid, but I think sometimes we forget that because he's very mature. He's got a very high IQ. You'll see his skill set hit the right-hand floater and next time come down and hit the left-hand floater. He's got the ability to step out and actually hit a shot. He made some really good defensive plays, a very good first experience. So, Diana, what was your take on Wendell Carter Jr. in this game?
Wendell Carter Jr. was definitely not a player I was sold on in the beginning. Like when the draft season was going on, I did not want Wendell Carter Jr. I wanted Michael Porter Jr., but obviously we got Wendell, and I am happy that, you know, the Bulls decided to pick him up, especially after watching him in Summer League. He had a really impressive performance in there. And watching him yesterday, he did not look like a rookie. Like, he looked like this was not his first year or his first, you know, time playing professionally. So I was really impressed with him. And he's definitely the missing piece that this Bulls team has needed, you know, especially when it comes to defense and him just knowing how to do everything on the court. So I was definitely impressed by him.
I didn't necessarily expect him to, like, go as crazy as he did in the Summer League. And I think that Wendell Carter Jr., like you said, Marcus, I think that certain players are going to go after him, especially after the showing that he had this past Summer League, and that's exactly what Anthony Davis did. But I think Wendell Carter is just starting to understand the talent gap between players from college and from the NBA Summer League as opposed to actual NBA talent, because I think I was reading the quote from, I think, Casey Johnson, where Wendell Carter actually stated so, just about how you can tell how talented these players in the NBA are and just the total difference it is. So with Wendell Carter Jr., I think it's just going to take him getting his feet wet. I think that he did fairly well yesterday, especially for a rookie. And as Diana said, I didn't think that he was too nervous out there or anything like that. I thought that he was pretty poised, but I think he just has to get used to the talent gap. That's all that is. But as a player, I thought that he held his own.
I think that once he breaks out of his shell a little bit, because he was still in a shell when he was at Duke, right? Because he was the number 2 guy, so he wasn't the man. I think once he realizes that he can open it up and do what he wants to do in this level, that he's going to really have a bright future. So I was really impressed with his debut. Let's go to Chandler Hutchinson. Hutch. He got some good minutes in the game, but early on he seemed a little nervous. And I don't know if that's just the crowd or what it happened to be, but he's a mature player. He's got a lot of room to grow. But the thing that I saw was that he was diving for balls everywhere. He ended up in the seats 3 times. He ended up on somebody's beer or lap or whatever. He was diving. He was swatting at defenders. I'll say this. For a number 22 draft pick, he looked a lot better than any of the other lower-level draft picks that we've had in a long time. I mean, he really looked comfortable out there once he got going. I think he's really going to be a solid role player, and I'm really glad they picked him up.
With me, I thought that Chandler, early on into the game, I thought that he had the jitters. He looked like he did at the start of the summer league games, where he came out and he wasn't necessarily assertive. He wasn't asserting himself enough on the offensive end. But I felt like as the game waned, as it went on, he got a little bit more comfortable, and he started to take his shots. And as you said, he also was diving for loose balls and all that. So I really like that he tried to affect the game in different ways other than just scoring. With Chandler Hutchison, I think that he's one of those players that's just going to have to, I don't know, he starts off really slow, if you ask me, based on like his history from college, him not having too good of a freshman, sophomore season. He didn't really come along until his junior and freshman season. And the same as in the summer league, as I stated. So with Chandler Hutchison, I'm really glad that we did pick him up. I thought you made a great point about him being one of the best low-level draft picks from the Chicago Bulls team in a while. And I agree. While he didn't have a superb game, I thought that he played fairly well as a rookie.
I really don't have any concerns about Hutchison. Like you guys said, you can really tell that he was a little nervous. But I think as time goes on, he's going to really warm up. I would like to see him be more aggressive. But I do think, it's just him, being new, being a rookie. So it wasn't anything that really worried me about him. I am looking forward to seeing him develop more and just getting some more minutes to play.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about the starters. First off, the $78 million gorilla in the room, that would be Zach LaVine. He ended the game with 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. And I'll tell you this, he looked like the Zach LaVine that we've been dreaming about ever since we got him, right? He doesn't look anything like he did last year. He is absolutely the most explosive player on the Bulls. It's obvious those injuries are a thing of the past, no longer a concern for Zach or for us as Bulls fans. Man, he had some dunks that were just bombs. They were just explosive moves right to the hoop.
Yeah.
And he's going to turn some games around with the crowd at the UC this year. You can tell he's going to get crazy with his dunks. He hit him with mean intent, and that's something I wrote down here in the show notes that I wanted to make sure that was conveyed. He looked like he was on a mission. In the post-game interview, Zach said he said, I'm really excited to have a lot of offensive weapons, a lot of things we have to do better, especially on the defensive end. It was a good run for the first time going out there. We miss Lauri, obviously, but he'll come back and jump right into the mix. We're going to run fast and get open shots. Whenever someone has it going, we're going to go look for them. I think we played with a good pace. Everybody contributed. I score the ball, but we have so many other scorers. If any of us have an off day, I think we'll be able to pick up the slack really easily. We know our roles. I know that I'm here to be the leader, put the ball in the hoop, become a complete player. We have so many offensive weapons. I mean, come on, Zach LaVine. What do you think, man?
Man, well, what is there not to think? At least on the positive side, man. No, like he came out and he did his thing. All of the work that he put in over the summer, it basically showed. But I was thinking, like last year when he came back for the first game with the Bulls coming off of that ACL injury, I think he played just as well. So that's why I didn't necessarily want to get my hopes too high. But I'm not going to be a pessimist about this thing here, because when I did see him on the court, the difference that I saw between yesterday's game and his first game back last year was confidence. I really felt like he was out there. He was confident. Plus, he also has the advantage of being with Fred Hoiberg for an entire season now, and even his teammates. So that's why I feel like Zach LaVine, what he did yesterday, it was legit. Although my first thought was to take a step back and, really think about it. But after I did, I do think that we're going to see the good Zach LaVine as opposed to the inefficient one from last season. Now, that's not to say that he's going to have a perfect season or anything like that, but I definitely think that he'll be an upgrade from last season. A huge upgrade.
I was looking forward to seeing Zach because I wanted to see him fully healthy, and he definitely put on the show last night. And I really think that he is going to prove to people that he deserved that contract, the people that was doubting and people who had a lot to say, calling him overhyped. Like, this is just preseason, and you can tell that he has gotten more athletic. He has slimmed down, and like you said, he's more explosive when the dunking. So I was really impressed with Zach, and I like the chemistry between him and Chris Dunn.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Let me chime in on that one. My bad, Marcus, because that's actually a great point, Diana. Last season, everyone was questioning the chemistry between he and Chris Dunn, right? And for good reason, because when you looked at their metrics when they were on the court together, they actually were one of the worst backcourts in the league. Mm-hmm. So with what they did yesterday night, I really thought that they just balled out, man. They actually took over the game together because I thought Chris Dunn, he actually hit Zach LaVine when he was supposed to, and they actually looked really cohesive on the defensive end as well. So, man, that was a really great point.
And the thing that I liked the most was Zach had a smile on his face almost the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
He was excited to be out there and having a good time doing it. So that's good to see. You like to see your guys happy when they're on the court, and he definitely was yesterday. So let's talk about our new pickup, Jabari Parker, hometown kid, introduced first from Chicago, 6'8", Jabari Parker, and he got 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. It's only the first game, so I don't think we should worry too much, but his shot was off a little bit. But he still managed to drop 15, had some really nice passes, had a couple really nice crossovers too. I'm looking forward to seeing how he blends with the rest of this group in the next coming games. He does look like he could trim down a bit, though. He did seem kind of a little bit slow in times where he kind of should have came over to his man a little bit better. And that's where I think where the defensive knock comes in as far as Jabari. But I think he's going to get into better shape as the season grinds on. What do you guys think?
I was really looking forward to seeing Jabari play the small forward. That's another reason why I was upset about Lauri getting hurt, because I really want to see how he will look in that position. But he seems to be more comfortable, in playing the power forward. But, I do agree with you when you say he needs to trim down a bit. It did seem a little slow, but I also just chalked it up to it was the first game and they're still trying to gel together. But speaking of chemistry that we talked about with Zach and Chris, I like the chemistry between him and Justin Holiday. They seem to feed off each other, and, I like what I see from Jabari.
I don't know if anybody else was watching the game on NBC or at least attempted to watch it on NBC.
I was, and it was horrible.
Yes. So that's why I can't necessarily give my fully honest, full game evaluation of Jabari Parker, at least because I know that he started the game. So I don't know what he did in the first quarter. But just watching him in that second quarter, I thought that he was, I don't know, Jabari Parker is basically a veteran. So I wouldn't necessarily say that he had the jitters, but I feel like he needed to find his way. He needed to get into a rhythm. And I felt like he really did that in the second half of the game. He started to really select his shots better. I thought that, as Diana said, he had really good chemistry with some of the players on the team because he threw a few dimes. I think he had what did he have, about 4 assists? So
yeah, he did.
Yeah. He threw a few dimes, and I really like that aspect of his game as well. Jabari Parker isn't just a scorer. So what I saw from him yesterday, it really excited me for what I think he can do when the season really gets underway, when it really gets into the heart of the season by whenever All-Star break and all of that. That's when I really, really want to judge Jabari Parker. I want to see a nice number of games from him, because yesterday I thought that he actually did his thing. I feel like he looked like one of the best players out there. But at the same time, as you guys said, with that conditioning factor, I don't know how well that's going to bode for him on the defensive end. And even at playing the 3 position, once Lauri Markannen gets back, I'm not worried about him at all on the offensive end. Looking at what he did yesterday, his handle is tight, you know what I mean? And plus, I feel like he has a pretty nice – I feel like his quickness is pretty decent, especially if a 4 is guarding him. I think once we can get a larger sample size of Jabari Parker, that'll really tell the whole story.
Yeah, he didn't have any turnovers at all, so his handling was on point.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the point, and that would be Chris Dunn. He had 12 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, 3 assists. Chris Dunn is our point guard of the future, and I'm going to say it right now, but he's going to be an all-star at some point in his career. I mean it. His defensive ability, pretty amazing. Even AD was moving away from Chris Dunn. That's saying something. He was quick. He was spot on with his passing. I mean, even down the court stuff, he was dead on. He was the quarterback, just like he said, really relaxed, really poised. And you would think that he'd be like an 8-year vet with the way that he was so relaxed in the game. Even when things went bad, he completely calmed and did the tempo correctly, as he should as a point guard. He did have 3 turnovers and only 3 assists, but I'm going to attribute only 3 assists to the fact that he's giving it to guys that are going to test their dribble and drive. So he's not going to get credited with an assist in that, because if they're going to drive, he's not going to get it. I'm not going to fault him for those 3 turnovers. Those were kind of on stupid broken plays anyway, or a bad pass or stuff like that. And I think it was just guys that were out of position when he was actually starting to pass it over there. So not too bad, but man, what'd you think of Chris Dunn, Wyse?
I thought that he played stellar yesterday. What did he shoot? 5 for 7 for 71% field goal percentage, man. That was insane. And it's safe to say that Chris Dunn is no bust.
No,
he is no bust, man. Clearly, Tom Thibodeau didn't use the man right. He wasn't doing something correctly. What can you say, man? He did his thing out there. Like, he definitely looked like a leader on the floor. Like, you can actually hear him from the TV out there hollering out plays on the defensive end, making sure guys were where they were supposed to be. He was very, very aggressive on the offensive end, although I didn't like that ill-advised 3-point shot that he took. At the end, he had like a hand in his face or something. If he had 5 feet between he and the defender and then took that shot, I wouldn't have been mad. But that was probably the only thing that I didn't like from Chris Dunn yesterday. But other than that, man, Chris Dunn, he played very, very hard. He was running the floor. I liked the hookup between him and Jabari. As I said earlier, just the chemistry between him and Zach LaVine on the defensive end, I thought that was huge. That was a huge factor in the game. So, yeah, Chris Dunn did his thing, man. I'm loving what I'm seeing from him right now.
Yeah, you know what really scared me is that one dunk that he had, where he got up and then he almost got horizontal again. I'm like, no. We don't need you to fall again.
No.
Just dunk it and get back on the ground. I don't need that stuff. That's going to give me a heart attack.
Legit.
Chris Dunn is one of my favorite players on the Bulls. Like, I love watching him play, and I'm never surprised when I see him come out and just play with toughness, and he definitely plays like he has something to which I like to see. And you can really tell that he has improved on his jumper from last season. And, you know, this team talks about chemistry and, you know, gelling together, and you can really tell that they have really improved on that, you know, off season, and he had a really good game, and I'm just really looking forward to the rest of the season, since this was just first game of the preseason. So it's a lot to look forward to from Chris Dunn.
I'm going to say something, and this is going to be kind of weird to say this. When I was a kid, I was given this tape that was called Running with the Bulls, and it was with Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen's rookie year. and Charles Oakley was still on the team, and he was like beating up Scotty as the rookie and shoving him into the blackboard and all that. But in this tape, they start to play some of their early games, and I get like it gives me that same kind of feeling as when I was watching Scotty Pippen and Horace Grant coming up. Like they went through these same jitters too. You know, they weren't who they weren't the Hall of Famers that they are now, or that they turned into be. But as I watch this team, I kind of look at them as like, okay, where are these guys going to be 5 years from now? If they all stay Bulls, and if they all stay healthy, and if they can get some strings of wins together and a couple playoff runs here and there, can this type of team win a championship? And I don't think that they're at that level yet. I think that they need a couple more guys.
Yeah.
But I'm really like if you gave us AD, it's over. I think we're champions in 3 years. I really do. It gave me that same feeling, especially with Chris Dunn at the point. That really gave me this. I mean, is he going to be better than John Paxson was at the point? Yeah. Is he going to be better than Ron Harper was at the point? Yeah. So it's just really building around that type of thing. So, but he's better than BJ Armstrong was. I think he's going to do a lot better than what those guys did, because none of those guys could dunk it like that, and they didn't have that explosiveness either. So looking forward to that. And I don't want to hear comments on YouTube and all that. What, you think they're going to win this year? No, I don't, but I think they're going to win in a couple years, definitely. All right, let's move to BP, Mr. Crazy Eyes, Bobby Portis. 21 points. Miss Pearl, you're going to love this. 5 rebounds, 2 steals. And I don't think anybody told Bobby that this was a preseason game, because he didn't act like it, right? He's finally guaranteed that 6-man role for the first time to start this season with the Bulls, and he came in confident, certain, and angry. And he was energetic. He recognized smaller players that were switched over and guarding him, and he buried them in the post. He had multiple easy scores in the second half, shots in 19 minutes with a pair of steals. He was crazy eyes in every sense of the word throughout the entire game. Diana, what's your take of BP?
I don't expect anything less from Bobby. Like, he plays, in my opinion, he plays every game like that. Like, he plays like every game is on the line, and he just comes out and just dominates. Like, he overpowered small defenders last night. And I think if he keeps playing that way, he can definitely be, a candidate for top 6 man of the year. Mm-hmm. And, Bobby, it's just crazy just looking at his points from last night, because him, Zach, and Antonio Blakely all had 21 points, And like I said, I don't expect anything less from Bobby.
He was bodying smaller guys. I thought that he was actually boxing guys out. He was going hard on the defensive end. Bobby Portis, he looked, I'm not going to say totally different, because he has always been an intense player. But this year, you can tell that the new addition of the muscle is in full effect. Like, it's helping his game. Because last season, I didn't see him bodying guys. I didn't see him, even like when he would have like a small forward or something like that switch onto him, I didn't see him like just use his power to body him and put him in a basket. You know what I mean? So Bobby Portis, man, if last night's game is any indicator of how he's going to play throughout the season, hey, the Bulls going to have a problem on their hands. They're definitely going to have a problem on their hands, because that man is going to want to get paid. And if they don't pay him, you can bet that another team will. And I'm pretty sure if he continues to play like this, Garn Pax won't want to let him go.
Yeah. And did you guys catch what I did, which was he was clapping at guys?
He was.
Literally. Like, come at me. Come at me. Come on.
BP, baby. Like, crazy eyes. Let's go.
All right. So let's go to my favorite highlight player of the game, Antonio Blakely, AB. Everybody that listens to the podcast knows that he's my favorite player on the Bulls. And he was ever since he was with Windy City last year. 21 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 8 for 8 on free throws. He is everything I want him to be for the Bulls. Instant scoring off the bench. Stacey King finally gave him a nickname, Minute Rice, because he heats up and gets cooking quickly. I love that name. He's not afraid to shoot the ball, which obviously we know that. that's exactly what we need from him coming off the bench this year. So I sense that there's going to be a handful of games this year that we're going to be slightly behind, say 6, 8, 10 points down. And I bet you that AB will come off the bench and get us the lead, or at least get us back into the game. This is Fred's kind of player, and something that we haven't really had off the bench in a long time. I mean, I'm not going to leave comparisons to like Nwaba or anything like that, because Nwaba was a defensive beast. But for somebody that can heat up really quick and get some points on the board fast, Antonio Blakeney is perfect for this team.
Nah, legit. One of the main things that I love about Antonio Blakeney is he's fearless, man. Like he is fearless out there on the offensive end. And I feel like he has amnesia when it comes to shots. Like if he's missing, or if he misses a shot, is man, shoot till you miss mentality. Like, because this kid, he goes after it on the offensive end. Like, I would really love for him to maybe develop more tools on the offensive end. And I think that he'll do that by getting with some sort of like NBA veteran. Like, I would love for him to pair up with Kobe Bryant just to unlock the full potential of this kid's offense. Because I think if he could really learn his game and really hone in on like just his inside scoring and that mid-range jumper, the 3-point shot, and all of that, if he can really hone in on those skills, I think he'll be unstoppable, like a Kyrie Irving or something like that in the league. Now, I know a lot of people gonna go crazy about that take, but that's how much potential I think this kid has. Like, how many minutes did he play yesterday? What, like 18, 20?
It was 20, I think, yeah. Yeah,
20 minutes, and he put up 21 points in that short amount of time. This kid, he has no boundaries, if you ask me. I think that he just will fill it up on anybody, and it was really exciting to see him do all that he did last night.
Yeah, I agree. Antonio Blakeney, I think he was the leading scorer in the G League last season, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he definitely has a lot to prove, and I think he wants to show that he wants that backup shooting guard spot, since Hoiberg said, all spots are open. But yeah, Blakeney, he's definitely, I'm glad that this bench is getting really good, because we definitely need people to come off the bench and score. And I like that Hoiberg is going to start playing a lot of the guys who do not get a lot of minutes, so they can learn, to get more experience and to close out games. So I was definitely impressed with Antonio Blakeney.
Yeah, and he did a scream dunk for the first time yesterday, too. I was like, oh.
That was nasty.
He's getting vocal.
That was nasty, man.
Yeah.
I was all over Twitter when that happened.
Yeah, another thing, that we're not talking about as far as this bench is concerned is inevitably there will be injuries that happen throughout the season. Mm-hmm. And we're going to need guys that can score a lot of points to step up and fill in throughout the season. And it's good to know that we've got guys like AB that can put it in when needed, right? Yeah. So let's turn it over to the other guys on the team that maybe didn't do so well, or maybe they did. Let's talk about Cameron Payne. He had 5 points, 2 rebounds, but 7 assists. So for the time being, listeners, I'm going to get off Cam's tail right now and just give him the benefit of the doubt. He does seem like a decent backup for the Bulls for the time being. So I wished he would have bulked up. I don't know why, but he seems so slow in comparison to all the rest of the Bulls. I don't know why. He's got this weird shuffle, and he doesn't look like an NBA player when you look at his frame and look at his build. He just didn't seem to have it. But 7 assists, I'm not going to complain about that at all.
I tried to give Cameron Payne the benefit of the doubt. I made a video about him on my channel, trying to find the importance of having Cameron Payne on this team, and I got a lot of crap for it too. But I don't know why they kept him. Like, I was really hoping that once the season started, that Cameron Payne and Felicio would be off the team. But here they are, still on the team, taking up minutes. But I guess you can find hope in that he has 7 assists. But I think he finally hit like a 3-pointer in the fourth quarter. He finally, hit some points. But if it was up to me, he would be off the team.
Man, y'all got to get off my guy Cam Payne. No, let me stop playing. No, but with Cam Payne, I feel like he's showing me something. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like he necessarily should be.
What is he
off
showing
the
you?
team. Like, look at the stats. Look at the stats. And even when I watched him yesterday, he was hitting guys. Like, his vision is fairly decent. Like, he has vision, man. Like, he's not a poor passer at all. Like, and it's telling in the 7 assists. Now, I did also see him get his stuff beat by Anthony Davis, but come on, man, that's Anthony Davis. I think a lot of us are just low on Cam Payne because, like you said, Marcus, he is a bit of a slow player. But I feel like he's one of those finesse players. And don't anybody say anything, but Steve Nash was a finesse player. And in no way am I comparing Cam Payne to Steve Nash, but I'm just saying that he doesn't necessarily have to be out of the NBA because he's not, Earl Boykins fast or anything like that. But Cam Payne, I think he's definitely going to have to carve out a role on this team, especially by him, by this being his 4th season. This is his 4th season. So I think he understands that he's going to have to do a bit more than usual than his previous 3 seasons. And I expect him to. I think that Cam Payne is hungry, but I think that he's just having a little bit of trouble finding his niche. He needs to find that one specific thing that he does very well. And I think he'll be all right.
Is he in the last year of his contract?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is his 4th season. So next year will be a contract year for him.
You better step it up. Better step it up if you want to stay in this league. Jeez. All right. Let's talk about the Brazilian bust out. I think Cristiano Felicio, he did 12 minutes, 2 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. And I think the block was off his face, quite frankly. But I think I've been correct in my assessment of him the entire summer. He looked slow, out of shape, barely contributed anything positive to the game. He looked lost. He really did. It looked like he didn't spend 1 minute with the guys in that extra month that they were together. And I can tell you that he wasn't there because all he was doing was giving us soccer pictures from Brazil and stuff like that during that entire time frame. He did not impact this game in any way. I would have liked to have seen one of the other guys jump in there, one of the newer guys, Antonius Cleveland, or any of the other new guys that we had come into the game. But nobody, it just wasn't there. I don't know why. So I think he's got a lot of improvement, man, and this sickens me every time I recall how much money he's making. So, man, I don't know what to do about him.
Oh, man, no, this is one of those mistakes that is going to hunt Garden Pax, man, because this dude sucks. He just flat out sucks. I'm at a loss of words for Cristiano, man, because he had all the offseason, and then he's a durable player, so it's not like he's afflicted by injury or anything like that. It's just this dude seems to not want it. He seems to just not put in the work. So I don't see any need for this guy on this team, but sad to say, we can't do anything about it because of that contract that he has. But looking at what he did yesterday, man, I saw dudes scoring on him. His foot speed hasn't improved from last year. He looks lost on offense still. So I don't know what this guy can do. Like he's a decent. He puts on a decent pick because of his body size, but his rolling game isn't even the same as it was during his earlier years with the Bulls. That actually is the reason why I think he got a contract, because he was a decent rim runner, but it seems like he just lost. He just forgot how to play. So, man, yeah, I really wish that this dude would go somewhere, please. He needs to disappear.
You guys basically said everything. There's nothing else that I can say about Felicio except that I'm still dumbfounded on why the Bulls decided to give him that contract. Like, I don't know if I don't know. I'm trying to think of an excuse, but there's no reason why he should have got that contract. I mean, as soon as he got on the court yesterday, I believe he drew a foul. Like, as soon as he stepped on the court, and I was like, of course, Felicio, there you go. This is what you do, you know. But I don't know. And there's nothing else to say about Felicio that you guys haven't said. So he's on the team, and we got to deal with him. So, I mean.
Yeah, they should just make him carry everybody else's bags. That's probably the best thing for him. Maybe he'll bulk up a little bit more then. Huh?
Sit at the end of the bench and pass out Gatorade, bro.
Yeah.
Like that needs to be his
something.
Role.
I saw guards screening him yesterday.
Yeah.
When he was trying to defend. They were literally a 6'2" guy was holding him back. Wow. That's not acceptable. So overall, Diana, what was your impression of the chemistry, the matchups, how you saw players reacting to each other? Give me your overall summary of what you saw yesterday.
Overall, I really saw a hopeful future. Even with Lauri gone, like I really saw that the Bulls would step up, and I saw that players actually wanted it. Besides Felicio and Cameron Payne, saw a lot of players that actually, you know, they have something to fight for. And like I said, a lot of them have a lot of things to prove. Just the team being so young, I see a lot of development. You know, this was just the first game, so I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of the season.
Overall summary, more than half the team looked great, or at least more than half the players that played yesterday looked awesome. I really liked everything that I saw from the chemistry on defense between Zach LaVine and Chris Dunn. They clearly have developed that, and I know it's just the first game, but I see that swagger. They have swagger on the court now that they didn't have last season, so that was beautiful to see. I really liked the rookie and Wendell Carter Jr. I liked what he was doing out there. Like he looks like he does have some promise, although, you know, he has to get through, you know, just get his feet wet a little bit. Like I said, Zach LaVine, man, what can you say about this kid? He looks like he's poised to be an all-star after this first preseason game. Chris Dunn as well. He did his thing, man. He's that general on the floor that he said that he has to be. So overall, and I can't forget about Fred. I felt like Fred, he actually controlled the team. He actually controlled the floor. He was on the sideline calling out plays that the team actually respected and ran. So, I mean, this is a very good first impression. I really liked what I saw from the team, and yes, the future does look good.
Yeah, I want to second that about Fred. I thought they coached a really smart game. The substitutions were at perfect times. Nobody looked winded. Nobody looked tired. They all looked fresh when they came back in. He brought in Bobby at the right time. He brought in Antonio Blakeney at the right time. I really – it wasn't like the others. I know it's the first game, but other games you get that sense sometimes that, oh, man, they got to bring this guy out. He's tired. He's winded. He sucks. He's not doing too good right now. I didn't get that yesterday. It seemed like Fred really had a handle on that pretty early as far as his substitutions. And obviously he's going to substitute a lot because he wants to see how the young guys are doing. But I hope that sort of regimen continues throughout the season. So we've had a lot of fun here talking about this game, and we'll be right back after this short break. Okay, we're back, and here we go. We got some other games that are coming up in the preseason schedule. October 3rd, we're going to have the Bulls versus the Milwaukee Bucks. We're going to see the Lopez brothers going at it, and we're going to get to see Giannis and see what kind of strides he's made over the summer. He worked out with Kobe and a bunch of other guys, and it looks like he bulked up even more, if that's possible, from Giannis. So the Greek Freak is going to be in full swing on October 3rd against the Bulls. Monday, October 8th, it's the Bulls versus Charlotte in Charlotte. So we're going to get to see Tony Parker in Charlotte. That's going to be kind of strange. And Wednesday, October 10th, we're going to have the Bulls versus the Pacers, which should give us a very good indication as to what we're going to be facing in the Central Division this year. So we'll be watching all three of those games in between recording the next podcast, and we'll be talking about those and the continual improvement of our players on the next show. So thank you again to Diana Harris for coming on the show today for episode 11. I've got an actual redirect link that I put together, so it's really easy to find her YouTube channel. So go to bullspodcast.com/dembulls, which is DEMBULLS. You can also find her on Twitter at Diana Marie TV. I'm going to give Diana the video file for this episode where she can also post it on her channel as well. So hello to all of Diana's subscribers at Dem Bulls. We hope you like what you hear on this podcast and that you'll subscribe to our channel as well. We really appreciate anybody who takes the time to produce Bulls-related content. It's not always easy, and it's not always been easy in the off-season. And Diana, it's been a real pleasure having you on the show today and spending some time with us and talking about the Bulls.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It really meant a lot. For your subscribers who would like to come check out my channel, I'm on YouTube at Diana Marie TV, and hopefully you guys like the content and you guys will subscribe.
And remember to subscribe to our show. Just go to bullspodcast.com/subscribe to get all the links to where we are. We are on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, all that. So we do want you to subscribe to us there and give us a 5-star review. We didn't get any this last week, but we need some on there. We're making good strides on YouTube. I think we're like the number 6 Bulls show right now, so we could really use your help there. And just like what you've heard in previous shows, we will read them out as we get them, so make sure to get yours in right now, and you can be on the next show. As a special request, I do want to bring your attention to something. We do need more subscribers to our YouTube channel. There's a couple features that get unlocked when you get certain amounts of subscribers, so I'd like to take advantage of that. So if you could, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to bullspodcast.com/YouTube, and it'll forward you right over to that. Subscribe to us there as soon as you can. I really need that help. And don't forget about the fan hotline. It's 312-626-5401. Make sure you give us a call anytime. And Wyse, what's your closing thoughts on episode 11?
I just had a lot of fun this episode. We had the Bulls' first game of the preseason, and it was just awesome. And I really enjoyed talking about it with my fellow Bull lifers and yourself and Diana. Diana, I really appreciate your basketball mind. I really enjoyed doing the show with you today, and I'm going to check out your YouTube channel and subscribe and all of that. So it was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Until next time, thanks for listening, everybody. Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Hey, Bulls fans! This is your Bulls championship announcer, Ray Clay, saying, so long, everybody. Go Bulls!